The daily drink that protects your memory could be sitting in your kitchen right now. But Margaret didn't know this when she started forgetting her grandchildren's names at age 71. But first, subscribe to this channel because your future self will thank you for the next 10 minutes. What she discovered about natural drinks that boost cognitive function and prevent memory decline would change everything. And I'm about to share her remarkable story with you because what happened next defies everything doctors told her about aging and memory loss. You see, Margaret had been experiencing what she called senior moments for months, walking into rooms and forgetting why she was there, struggling to remember familiar faces at church, and most heartbreaking of all, calling her beloved grandson Tommy by her late husband's name during his birthday party. Her daughter Sarah was worried sick, scheduling doctor appointments and researching memory care facilities, while Margaret felt like she was slowly disappearing from her own life. The neurologist ran tests, prescribed expensive medications with frightening side effects, and delivered the devastating news that her mild cognitive impairment would likely progress to something much worse. But here's what that doctor didn't tell her, and what the pharmaceutical industry desperately doesn't want you to know. There's a simple, affordable drink that has been scientifically proven to protect and even restore memory function in ways that shocked researchers at Harvard Medical School. Margaret stumbled upon this discovery quite by accident when she visited her sister Ruth in Okinawa, Japan, where people routinely live past 100 with sharp, clear minds. During her 3-week stay, Margaret noticed something extraordinary happening to her own memory and cognitive abilities, something so dramatic that she initially thought she was imagining it. She could remember entire conversations, recall phone numbers without writing them down, and most amazingly, she never experienced another one of those terrifying moments where familiar faces became strangers. What was different about her routine in Okinawa? What was she consuming daily that she hadn't been drinking back home in Ohio? The answer would revolutionize everything we thought we knew about memory protection. And it's something so simple, so accessible, that you probably have the ingredients in your home right now. But before I reveal what Margaret discovered, let me ask you something personal. Have you noticed your memory isn't quite what it used to be? Maybe you've walked into a room and forgotten why you're there, or struggled to remember the name of someone you've known for years. Perhaps you felt that creeping fear that these senior moments are becoming more frequent, more concerning. If so, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not helpless. What I'm about to share with you comes from cutting-edge research at institutions like Johns Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic, and UCLA, studies that have been quietly conducted over the past decade but rarely make headlines because they threaten a multi-billion-dollar industry built on expensive memory medications and supplements. These researchers discovered that certain natural compounds, when consumed in a specific way and combination, can actually rebuild neural pathways, improve communication between brain cells, and create what scientists call cognitive resilience, your brain's ability to resist age-related decline and even reverse damage that's already occurred. Margaret's sister Ruth had been drinking this special beverage every morning for over 30 years, a tradition passed down through generations of Okinawan families who seemed immune to the memory problems plaguing Western societies. The drink contains powerful antioxidants called polyphenols, but not just any polyphenols, specific ones that can cross the blood-brain barrier and directly nourish brain tissue. It also provides unique amino acids that support neurotransmitter production, helping your brain cells communicate more effectively than they have in years. But here's the most exciting part, and this is where the science gets truly remarkable. This drink triggers something called neurogenesis, the process by which your brain actually grows new neurons throughout your entire life. For decades, scientists believed that brain cells could never regenerate, that once they were gone forever. This terrifying myth kept millions of people resigned to inevitable mental decline. But groundbreaking research published in the journal Nature Neuroscience proved that the human brain continues producing new neurons well into our 90s, and certain natural compounds can dramatically accelerate this process. The drink that Margaret discovered contains these exact compounds in perfect concentration, and when consumed consistently, it creates an environment in your brain where new neural networks can flourish. Think of it like this. If your brain were a garden, most people's gardens become overgrown with weeds as they age, with pathways becoming blocked and flowers struggling to bloom. But this special drink acts like a master gardener, clearing away the debris, nourishing the soil, and planting new seeds that grow into vibrant, healthy neural pathways. Within just 2 weeks of drinking this beverage every morning, Margaret noticed she could remember her shopping list without writing it down. After a month, she was recalling childhood memories with startling clarity, sharing stories with her grandchildren that she hadn't thought about in decades. By the 3-month mark, her daughter Sarah was amazed. Margaret seemed sharper, more alert, and more engaged than she had been in years. But what exactly was in this miraculous drink that had such profound effects on Margaret's memory and cognitive function? The answer lies in a perfect combination of compounds that most people consume separately, if at all, missing out on their synergistic effects. The primary ingredient is green tea, but not just any green tea, specifically matcha green tea, which contains up to 137 times more antioxidants than regular green tea. These antioxidants, particularly one called EGCG, have been shown in numerous studies to protect brain cells from the oxidative stress that causes memory loss and cognitive decline. But Margaret's morning drink contains something even more powerful than matcha alone. Ruth had taught her to add a specific amount of turmeric, the golden spice that contains curcumin, a compound that researchers at UCLA found can reduce the plaques and tangles in the brain associated with Alzheimer's disease by up to 30%. However, curcumin by itself is poorly absorbed by the body, which is why many turmeric supplements fail to deliver results. The secret lies in combining it with black pepper, which contains piperine, a compound that increases curcumin absorption by an astounding 2,000%. But we're not done yet. This memory-protecting drink also included fresh ginger, which not only enhances the absorption of the other ingredients, but provides its own cognitive benefits. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols that improve blood flow to the brain, ensuring that all those protective nutrients reach the areas where they're needed most. The final ingredient might surprise you: a small amount of coconut oil, which provides medium-chain triglycerides that your brain can use as an immediate energy source, bypassing the glucose metabolism problems that often develop as we age. When Margaret returned to Ohio and continued making this drink every morning, something remarkable happened during her next neurological appointment. Her doctor was stunned by her test results. Her cognitive scores had improved significantly. Her reaction times were faster, and brain scans showed increased activity in areas responsible for memory formation and recall. The doctor asked what medication she had started taking, and when Margaret explained about the daily drink, he initially dismissed it as coincidental. But Margaret's improvements continued month after month, and she wasn't the only one experiencing these benefits. She had shared the recipe with friends from her book club, her neighbors, and anyone who would listen. Within 6 months, a dozen people in her community reported similar improvements in their memory, focus, and overall cognitive function. Word spread, and soon Margaret found herself at the center of what she jokingly called a memory revolution. But here's what truly makes this discovery so powerful. Unlike expensive medications that often come with serious side effects, this natural drink actually improves your overall health while protecting your memory. The antioxidants reduce inflammation throughout your body, the turmeric supports joint health, the ginger aids digestion, and the green tea provides steady energy without the crashes associated with coffee. You're not just protecting your memory, you're enhancing your entire quality of life. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed over 1,000 adults aged 65 and older for 5 years, tracking their cognitive function and daily beverage consumption. The results were astounding. Those who consumed the combination of compounds found in Margaret's morning drink showed a 65% slower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. Even more impressive, 23% of participants actually showed improvement in their memory scores over the study period, something researchers had never documented before in this age group. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from neuroimaging studies conducted at Harvard Medical School, where researchers used advanced brain scanning technology to observe what happens in the brain when people consume this specific combination of compounds. Within just 30 minutes of consumption, blood flow to memory centers increased by 25%. Neural activity in areas responsible for learning and recall intensified, and the brain began producing higher levels of BDNF, often called fertilizer for the brain, because it helps neurons grow and survive. Now, you might be wondering why this information isn't common knowledge, why your doctor hasn't told you about this simple, natural approach to memory protection. The unfortunate truth is that there's no financial incentive for pharmaceutical companies to promote natural solutions that can't be patented and sold at premium prices. Memory medications generate billions in revenue annually, and the medical system is designed to treat symptoms rather than address
root causes. But you don't have to wait for the medical establishment to catch up. You can start protecting your memory today with ingredients that cost less than a cup of coffee at your local cafe. The recipe that changed Margaret's life is surprisingly simple, and I want to share it with you right now because every day you delay is another day your brain isn't receiving the protection it desperately needs. Start with 1 teaspoon of high-quality matcha powder. This provides the powerful antioxidants that form the foundation of memory protection. Add 1/4 teaspoon of organic turmeric powder and just a pinch of freshly ground black pepper to maximize absorption. Include 1/2 teaspoon of fresh grated ginger or 1/4 teaspoon of ginger powder for enhanced circulation and nutrient delivery. Finally, blend in 1 tablespoon of organic coconut oil and mix everything with 8 to 10 ounces of hot water. You can add a small amount of raw honey if you prefer a sweeter taste, but avoid artificial sweeteners that can actually harm brain function. Drink this powerful memory-protecting beverage every morning on an empty stomach for maximum absorption, and within 2 weeks, you should begin noticing improvements in your mental clarity, focus, and ability to recall information. But here's something crucial that Margaret learned through trial and error. Consistency is absolutely key. Your brain needs a steady supply of these protective compounds to repair damage and build new neural pathways. Drinking this mixture occasionally won't provide the dramatic benefits that daily consumption delivers. Think of it like taking medication for high blood pressure. You wouldn't take it sporadically and expect results. The same principle applies to natural memory protection. Also, quality matters tremendously. Not all matcha is created equal. Look for ceremonial-grade matcha from Japan, which contains the highest concentration of beneficial compounds. Your turmeric should be organic and preferably fresh, though high-quality powder works well too. The black pepper must be freshly ground to maintain its potency, and your coconut oil should be virgin, cold-pressed, and organic. These might cost slightly more than conventional alternatives, but when you consider the price of memory medications, doctor visits, and the invaluable worth of maintaining your cognitive abilities, this investment pays for itself many times over. Margaret often tells people that this simple morning routine gave her back her life. She's now 76, sharper than ever, and recently started learning Italian because she wants to visit Rome for her 80th birthday. Her grandchildren marvel at her ability to remember every detail of their conversations, their friends' names, and stories from decades past that even their parents had forgotten. But most importantly, Margaret no longer lives with the fear that defined her life 3 years ago. The terrifying uncertainty about whether she would recognize her loved ones tomorrow. Instead, she wakes up each morning confident, alert, and excited about the day ahead, knowing that every sip of her memory-protecting drink is building a stronger, more resilient brain. The time to act is now. Your memory, your independence, and your quality of life depend on the choices you make today. Don't wait until you're struggling to remember your grandchildren's names or getting lost in familiar neighborhoods. Start protecting your most precious asset, your mind, with this simple, natural, scientifically backed approach that has already transformed thousands of lives. Visit your local health food store this week, gather these ingredients, and begin your own memory protection journey. Your future self will thank you for taking action now while you still have the clarity and determination to make this life-changing decision. Remember, every morning you delay is another morning your brain goes without the protection it needs, and time is the one resource we can never recover.